Folks, if you would, please move all the way into the center of your section so that we can have folks come in. Please, we need every seat available, so please move in. Thank you.
Please remain standing, and gentlemen, remove your caps for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated for a performance of our alma mater.
Rigor, relevance, relationships, Randolph Early College, tried and true, honor, integrity, and leadership. We hold steadfast to these virtues, forever raising expectations and creating higher standards. Ravens taking flight together, creating memories to treasure, soaring higher and higher to our alma mater. We will always cherish you.
Good morning. On behalf of the class of 2019, I welcome you to the 10th commencement ceremony for Randolph Early College High School. It is my pleasure to introduce the officials who are here to honor us this morning. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Dr. Stephen Gainey, Superintendent of Randolph County School System. Dr. Robert Shackelford Jr., President of Randolph Community College. Ms. Catherine Berry, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction for the Randolph County School System. Mr. Fred Burgess, Member of the Board of Education for the Randolph County School System. Ms. Nancy Cross, Director of Career and Technical Education and Innovative School Design for the Randolph Community School System. Mr. Kenny Kidd, Randolph County Commissioner. Mr. Todd Lowe, Finance Officer for the Randolph County School System. Mr. Tim Moody, Public Information Officer for the Randolph County School System. Mrs. Suzanne Rohrbaugh, Vice President for Instructional Services for the Randolph Community College. Mrs. April Thompson, former Randolph Early College High School Principal and current Principal at the Providence Grove High School in the Randolph County School System. Mrs. Kathy Waddell, former Randolph Early College High School Principal and current Director of High Schools, ESL, and Online Learning for the Randolph County School System. Mrs. Amy Walker, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources for the Randolph County School System. Mr. Chad Williams, Vice President of Student Services for Randolph Community College. The faculty and staff of Randolph Early College High School. Any faculty members of Randolph Community College. I would also like to thank all of the family and friends who are here to celebrate with us. And to the class of 2019, I share these words with you. Of eyes that vainly crave the light, of the object's mean, of the struggle ever renewed, the question, O me, so sad reoccurring, what good amid these, O me, O life? Answer, that you are here, that life exists in identity, that the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. Thank you. At this time, I would like to welcome SGA President Ashley Shackelford to the podium for opening remarks.
These past few years have flown by. We are all now more experienced, having grown so much. I congratulate you all, parents, teachers, students, in surviving the late nights, difficult papers, and trying times. Early college is not for the faint of heart, but we're ravens. Struggling through all the college hardships was a great feat, and we all did it. This is what it means to be a raven. We all chose a path that to most would seem like too much, too early, and undesirable. Our class represents the first-generation college students, minorities, and everyone trying to make a better future for themselves. We came and we conquered. Instead of waiting for something to be handed to us, we chose to make it happen, to work for it. This is what it means to be a raven. We got through the difficult classes, exceeded expectations, and learned from it. But we didn't do it alone. The Randolph Early College High School staff makes up the dream team that all of us had the privilege to learn from. They prepared us so well for our futures, except they've done far more than that. The RECHS staff has given us so much, the most important thing being their love and support. With their example, all of you have done the same. So many times I've heard an encouraging word, seen a helpful friend, and felt the love of this amazing support system, which refuses to let anyone become discouraged. This is what it means to be a raven. We have gotten to this point because of you, all of you. Students, family, friends, and teachers have all had a hand in our journey. It has been a group effort to get to this day. All of us had times of doubt, yet none of us gave up. You didn't give up on one another. This is what it means to be a raven. We will continue to grow, some going to college, others joining the military or workforce, and others embarking on some other great adventure. Most would be terrified by this, but we will thrive. Thanks to this school and everyone in this room, we all have a good head on our shoulders. We will succeed. This is what it means to be a raven. I believe in us. I believe in you. Everyone in this room believes in you. You are a raven, and you will do great things. Thank you. At this time, I welcome our Senior Advisory Council President, Amaya Terry, to the podium for the presentation of the class gifts.
Good morning. My name is Amaya Terry, and I'm your senior class president. Joining me are my senior class representatives, Luke Bailey and Jordan Lasher. I'm here today to tell you about our senior class gift and why we chose it. Our gift is a tapestry, as you see beside me. It states, that together we soar. We chose this saying because our school mascot is a raven, and we chose this saying because our school mascot is a raven, and we are all one. We are part of this school, and we soar together. Even though we may be in the next chapter of our lives, and we will always and forever be the class of 2019. Thank you for allowing me to be your 2018-2019 class president. At this time, I welcome our classmate Lauren Baugh to the podium for the student address.
The day is finally here. The day we say goodbye to what is comfortable and content. The day we make our first step towards what's next. Class of 2019, remember that first day we stepped on campus, waking up with butterflies as a new journey was beginning, scrambling to get to our first class on time without getting lost or looking like a hot mess. So many new faces, yet this is the day many of us met the closest people who would help carry us through all 4 years of this adventure. We all braved through that first semester and then the next as fresh meat. Moving on to our second chapter of the journey, sophomore year, the year known as Make It or Break It. Many know this year as a time period when students decide this might not be the best decision for themselves. Therefore, I must congratulate each and every one of you, class of 2019, for pushing yourselves further than you might have once believed you could go, for the persistence and motivation to achieve your dreams and graduate from Randolph Early College High School on this day, May 17th, 2019. Our journey didn't end there in our sophomore year, though. We continued pushing ourselves to be the best we could be by joining more clubs and organizations as our school day became more flexible in our junior year. Many of us discovered what it means to be a leader, to push our own personal limits, and to develop a widely experienced portfolio that prepares us for the next adventure ahead. We continued to develop these characteristics and learn how to incorporate them into our daily lives as our senior year rolled around. This is a year many of us decided what our next steps in this journey of life would be. Some will continue on to reach a higher degree of education, some will enter the workforce, some entering the mission field, and even some serving our country in the military. 4 years of what many of us refer to as blood, sweat, and tears have all led up to this very moment. As I stand here in front of you all, thinking back through the past years, one phrase comes to mind: it was all worth it. All the late nights and early mornings studying for exams, all the mid-semester crisis when we had thought we had enough, all the hard work we have put in, worth it. I encourage each one of you to take a look at where you're sitting now. Take just a moment to appreciate yourself and how far you have come already. No matter what your next step might be, take that step with your whole heart. Do not stop. Keep on reaching for these goals you most desire to achieve. Thank you. At this time, I invite Dominic Terman to the podium to introduce our speaker.
Mr. Corey Culp graduated from Texas Tech University and began working as a petroleum engineer. After a few years in that field, he felt a calling into education and arrived at Randolph Early College High School in August 2013 to begin his career as a science teacher. He and his wife, April, have embraced the RACHS community, even letting us be a part of their gender reveal before they welcomed their daughter, Wells, last year. Through our journey with him as students, we all realized something. All of us remember the first time we walked into his class and realizing how charismatic he is, complimented by his height, which was oddly intimidating if you ask me. At first it didn't seem like much, as it was just the standard first day of class where not much went on. Then the second day came, and we all realized something as our first choice board stared at us from behind the computer screen. We realized that this was going to be a long semester. My own realization moment came to be about a month into sophomore year. I distinctly remember sitting at my desk, it was nearly midnight, and the smell of freshly printed papers filled my room. I was almost done with that, what seemed to be an impossible task of completing one of those dreaded choice boards. I felt many things with every pencil stroke on the paper, tired, frustrated, and most of all, defeated. I emailed him that night saying, "Is it normal for me to do schoolwork this late at night?" The next morning came and I checked my email. A message, or reply to be exact, was waiting for me in my inbox. It read, "I'm sorry to hear that you were up so late doing my assignments. I never wished for you to spend this much time on it, but I relish your dedication to this class." The next morning we talked about a few things, and from then on, what started out as a panicked email quickly turned into my growth as a student. Mr. Colt, although some of us never had the pleasure of having 2 semesters with you, we will always remember your classes for the many challenges we were put through and how they changed us for the better. With that said, while I prepared this introduction, I had the final realization. I realized how much we relish you at this school. Without further ado, I invite Mr. Culp to the podium.
Thank you, Dominic. What a great kid. Wow. You guys are loved. Look at the turnout right behind you guys. You guys are loved. So graduates, parents, guardians, current and former RECHS faculty, and distinguished guests, welcome to the 2019 Randolph Early College High School graduation ceremony. I am honored to be up here speaking to you today. My name is Corey Culp, and I'm the high school biology teacher at this school, and I am intimately familiar with these students before me. What a class. What can I say about this class? I'll start with probably the first thing they would say about themselves, that they were the first class invited to RECHS without being interviewed. Not only that, they may mention that we reinstated interviews shortly after having them as freshmen. I will remain silent on whether or not there is a correlation between those two events. In my opinion, this class is fairly unconventional on the spectrum of the classes I've seen, though there are some similarities with other graduating classes. Students, see if you can identify yourselves within some of these descriptions. We have the class clowns, the sweet ones, the studious ones, the sarcastics, the procrastinators, the ones who type on laptops so everyone can hear every single letter being typed, the clumsy ones, the timid and nervous, the ones who speak in foreign accents and bow at the end of every conversation, the loud mouths you can't get to be quiet, the parkour crew, my meme wall helpers, the musicians, the PETA and Rocky movie advocates, the ones who could never forgive me for letting Ruger fall off of my globe on my cabinet, the ones who attempted the whip and the nay-nay daily, the ones with the piglets they brought to school, the ones constantly changing their hairstyle, the stalkers who Googled me and found funny pictures of my past, the ones who made fun of my assortment of polo shirts, the ones who called me C. Culp, and I had a nickname for you as well, the ones who used me to write every single recommendation letter they needed, the smilers, the chillers and the dudes, the suck-ups, the strugglers, and my favorite, the ones I see before me today, those who persevered and overcame. I think this class as a whole can best be described by a poem that was included in this year's yearbook by an anonymous student. There are pieces of us, edges you could call them, that don't seem to quite fit anywhere. We are all a little misshapen, pieces of a puzzle. The trouble is that the puzzle is so large that sometimes we get lost in trying to find where we're meant to go. Some of us fit right in the center, surrounded by the fragments of others, their place predetermined among the crowd. Others of us are more like corner pieces, awkwardly standing out as the pieces are spilled from the box onto the table. It may take us a little more time to find our place, yet we are, with all our quirks and edges, completing the picture. What a wonderful picture of what I think this group of students is. To me, this is a picture of a mosaic, a beautiful piece of art that is arranged by combining broken pieces in a particular pattern. I have never appreciated the scarlet letter I felt that you students had to wear as those students that weren't interviewed, because that is not who you are. To be sure, and I say this in love and endearingly, within this class are some of the most stubborn, hard-headed thorns in my side. But you are also the most passionate, strong-willed, compassionate, justice-seeking students with great leadership potential. I just have this feeling that when you find you will be some of the greatest change agents and world changers this school has seen come from it. I don't think this class knows this, because I don't think I ever told them. But I was drawn to them after hearing their stories from their About Me drawings they completed before their first year began, which went into depth about their characteristics, their hopes, their dreams, and their outlooks on life. I was hooked. and I wanted to give them a chance to be the best version of who they could be. With this class, I felt that if there were ever a time to try to make a difference, it was with them in my 3rd year of teaching. I was ready, and I believed they were ready. In the 2015-2016 school year, I taught 3/4 of these students as freshmen in earth and environmental science. By the end of the year, I did not have the feeling of accomplishment and connection like I had hoped for. I would often come home disheartened after school and feel like I had let them down. After their freshman year, I was asked by Ms. Thompson, our principal at the time, if I would be willing to accept the biology position to move up with this class. I was glad for this opportunity because I had a love for the subject of biology, but also because I wanted a second chance with these students. My philosophy going into that next year was simple: challenge them to go to the next level and support them in getting there. I was tough on these students. I demanded excellence, and they rose to the occasion, though quite unwillingly at times. I pushed them and challenged them, not out of pride or malice or any other negative feeling, but because of this simple fact: I knew they could do it, and I knew they needed to do it. And oh, you should have seen how some of them blossomed, how some of them changed, how many of them became better. The fruit I saw no one else could see. The students couldn't see it, but I could. And that got me through the sleepless nights and the graying of my hair, of which they constantly reminded me. And every time one of them pointed it out, I said, "That's your hair because you probably gave it to me." I am a firm believer of what is called the refiner's fire. This is a metaphor that talks about how the trials of our lives shape us, how they can make us either bitter or better. The idea of this fire is that when metal is heated up to its melting point, the hidden impurities rise to the top and can be easily sifted away. But without the fire, the impurities stay ingrained in the metal. I have had more than several refining fire moments in my life. So has everyone in this room. We either move forward or backward in life based upon how we respond to them. I felt that if I was preparing these students for life, I wanted them ready for such moments. Did I achieve this goal? Maybe for some of them, hopefully for most of them. That's the tricky part of teaching. That's the tricky part of love. You've got to love and then let it go and pray that it has its way. Love is hard. I consider teaching a labor of love. I consider the time I gave you kids a labor of love. Love doesn't always look the way we think it does, but I can tell you kids that I gave you my heart, I gave you everything I had, and because of that, you are special to me. You are the Corey Matthews to my Mr. Feeney, the Luke Skywalker to my Yoda, the Peter Parker to my Tony Stark. Sorry, you guys asked me for a dad joke? I gave you a dad joke. When I was asked to deliver this speech, I was first surprised, and then I was confused about what to speak on because I wasn't sure how these students remember my time with them. The affirmations I've been receiving as of late have made me confident that our time together was special. Confidence never used to be a problem for me until I became a teacher. But the fact that you asked me to deliver this speech confirmed a long-held theory that I had to remind myself over and over and over of again when I taught you. That we remember and hold most dear the memories of the difficult times in our lives that we made it through, and especially if we came out better. With that being said, here is my advice based upon what I know of you, in alignment with all the advice I've given you over the years. Firstly, I will refrain from saying something like be yourself or you be you. Number one, I don't think it's very helpful. Number two, it's not the advice I think you need. I'm not going to tell you to be yourself. I'm going to ask you to find yourself. It is time to figure out who you are. The word personality stems from the Greek word for mask. This means that we have a tendency to confuse the masks we wear with our true selves because we've had to adapt to the trials of our childhood. Again, I don't want you to tell you to be yourself. I want you to find yourself. We are constantly becoming who we are. Listen closely to that play on words. Becoming who we are. Don't let the masks we put on distort who you truly are. It's time for you to get out of your own way and be who you were created to be. I wish I could go into this in greater depth. It is that important. Secondly, Ask for wisdom. One of my favorite biblical characters is Solomon, who pleased the Lord when he could ask for anything in the entire world, and he asked for wisdom. For some reason, that has always been a prayer of mine. Lord, give me wisdom. In good times, give me wisdom. In the trials and the bad times, give me wisdom. Life presents us with a tough syllabus. It is oh so much better when we have wisdom. And finally, for the parents and the guardians, to this point, you have supported your child and helped them reach this tremendous achievement. Continue on down that road of support, offering advice and love. It is time for these kiddos to start moving into the world with you taking a different role. You will always be their mom and their dad, but if they are to truly begin to know more of who they are and find wisdom, they must do it on their own terms. There is an ancient proverb that says, "Train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it." Notice it says in the way that they should go, not in the way that we think they should go. You're about to move into a different role that will end up in greater relationship with your child, so prepare for it and allow them the freedom to find their way. Also, feel free to charge them rent if they overstay their welcome. So that is my advice. Embrace the difficult times and the refiner's fire. Find yourself. Ask for wisdom. And parents, trust that you've raised your children in a way that they can now find their paths. So, I urge you, nay, I petition you, to the following, and listen closely for some class-specific ideas that you guys are only going to be the ones that know what I'm talking about. You have the choice to meet these future life standards head on, to remember that often there are second chances, that one-on-ones will bring greater understanding, that big projects and problems in your life can be overcome when they are broken down, that you can overcome your fears, know that saying sorry can bring healing, that you can surround yourself with peers that can encourage you and speak correction into your life, and shout out to Miss Williams, that your life, your one life, has many good things waiting for you. And if you ever need a butler, you can always call me up. I would like to end with a blessing over each and every one of your lives, and it is up to you if you want to receive it. May you recognize in your life the presence, power, and light of your soul. May you realize you are never alone. May you have respect for your individuality and difference. May you realize that the shape of your soul is unique, that you have a special destiny here, that behind the facade of your life there is something beautiful and eternal happening. May you learn to see yourself with the same delight, pride, and expectation with which God sees you in every moment. Class of 2019, I love you guys, and I am so very proud of all of you. Thank you.
Student speakers on the stage, please join the class of 2019. The class of 2019, please rise for the presentation of the diplomas. Gracelyn Ann Allred. Luke Daniel David Bailey. Lauren Christine Ba. Casey Elizabeth Bowman. Wolf Stanfield Bowman. Jessica Lauren Brooks. Maya Janelle Brooks. Madison Grace Browning. Caitlin Michelle Byerly. Alexandria Lynn Kaysen. Jessica Diane Caldwell. Robert Stanley Campbell IV. Samantha Marie Capers. Brianna Raquel Cartwright. Haley Alyssa Cole. Christian Dale Councilman. Stephen James Cox. Natalie Rose Davis. Jennifer Diaz. Nacy Aratni Gayona. Cassidy Cheyenne Garner. Ariel Jane Hall. Lydia Mae Hamilton. Grace Davis Harrell. Haley Dane Hartley. Olicia Oliana Hedden. Celinda Bryn Highfield. Kirsten Emerald Holt. Ethan Wesley Key. Michaela Abigail Kulik. Natalie Kate Lambert. Brooklyn Joelle Langley. Jordan Margaret Lasher. Daphne Joanna Lopez. Lydia Lopez. Miranda Renee Lowe. Andrew John Miraran Lyon. Montserrat Marquez Cañas. Darius Andre Marley. Jason Tyler Martin. Lauren Madison McHenry. Court Zachary McNeil. Nicholas James Mitchell. Autumn Rose Moody. Matthew Riley Mrichkowski. John Grady Muir. Maria Lorena Osorio Perez. Jacqueline Palma Torres. Jessica Perez Alejo. Regina Haven Presnell. Brandon Scott Rancourt. William Rubelar Calixtro. Chayton Austin Roberts. Sochi Rodriguez Cortez. Minerva Romero Rojas. Jennifer Romero Vasquez. Lizeth Araceli Ruiz Pacheco. Ashley Lane Shackelford. Dylan Christopher Smith. Kaylee Britt Snellen. Jenny Suarez Illigor. Catherine Camila Tejeda. Amaya Jalyn Terry. Jade Frankera Traybert. Dominic Lucian Termin. Jessica Michelle Warner. Michaela Noel Williams. Mercy Viola Wilson. Orion Alexander Yant.
Seniors, please rise. At this time, please turn your tassel from right to left to signify your graduation from Randolph Early College High School. By the power vested in me by the state of North Carolina and the Randolph County School System Board of Education, and on behalf of the faculty and staff of Randolph Early College High School, I now pronounce you graduates of this fine school. Families, friends, and guests, I present to you the class of 2019. Please remain standing during the recessional, and congratulations, RECHS Class of 2019.